Well done. Well, this sounds like such a great event. We've got one of the former campers from Amici, is that how you say it?
Amici.
Amici Camping Charity, Calvin Miller, and a participant of Canoe Heads for Kids, Tim McMartin here. You guys, so good to have you on the show. Thank you both for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's talk a little bit about Amici Camping Charity. What's that all about?
Amici Camping Charity is a charity. Their main goal is to help send kids to camp, mostly from the GTA area, help send kids to summer camps that may not otherwise have the opportunity to do so through their own means.
Why is that such an important thing for kids to experience?
I think for me, being one of the kids myself, being able to get out of the city and be around a lot of positive role models is really good to do. As well, you know, being in Canada, it's a big deal that we camp. That's I think something that everyone always thinks, oh, Canada, everyone goes out camping. That's a real thing, and I think it's good that we are able to send people that wouldn't otherwise be able to do so up north, I think.
There's something very healing about just being in nature, would you say?
For sure.
If you're living in an area of the city where there's a lot of stress, where you don't have a lot of green spaces, then you get that hit of nature and it fulfills you for a while, right?
Definitely. Taking the words right out of my mouth. It actually is the best, for me, the best place on the planet is out north, outside. I love it. It's great, especially up north.
How old were you when you were in camp?
I was 10 when I went up, and I stayed there until I was 22. I went back for all summers, yeah. And so when I was a camper there, I was sponsored through Amici my first year and did it for the next 5 years. They sponsored me, and that's something that's very different about Amici as a charity, is that they have that multi-year sponsorship that they have. So if the next year there isn't that money there that the family might not have, they're able to send the kids again.
That's amazing. And so this is something that the kids can actually look forward to, and it becomes that positive thing that propels you forward. You meet bunch of great people, right, that you wouldn't otherwise meet?
My best friends, I all met at camp. I still know them today, and I will know them until the day I die. They are my favorite people.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing? Do you remember from camp?
Canoeing, for sure. It was something that I had no experience in, and for me, I like to challenge myself, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it when I first got there. It was hard for me, and I ended up really liking that because it pushed me, and eventually I pat myself on the back, got pretty good at it. And it was, once I got the hang of it, it was my favorite thing to do, for sure.
Again, another reason why it's so important to get these kids to go back time and time again, right, Tim?
Yep. I think that really is one of the great things about Amici and what they're doing, is making sure that once they commit to a camper, they're going to keep sending them back every single year. Even when they go into leadership programs, when you would most often think, okay, support's going to drop off, they keep supporting the camper or leader all the way through until they're a staff member, and now they're making a bit of money doing the job that they love. So
wow,
it's a great thing about Amici and what they're doing.
Fantastic. And that's kind of where you are now, Calvin, right? I mean, this is part of your life in a big way.
Yeah, it's a huge part. I mean, I still go back there just to visit, and I'm done now. And now in the real world, I guess. But yeah, it's still a huge part of my life.
You're here to talk about Canoe Heads for Kids. There's a big event on May 31st, which sounds like an absolute riot, but tough work too, right?
Yeah, so it's this year it's going to be about, I think it's around 18 to 20 kilometers of portaging and paddling along Toronto's harbourfront. So for most people, they hear 20 kilometers of portaging and paddling, and they could never imagine doing that.
No, because you're not just walking for 20 kilometers. That'd be hard enough. You're with your arms over your head,
yeah,
right, holding a canoe.
Yeah. So it's quite the feat, but it's all for a good cause in support of Amici Camping Charity. So
my shoulders are aching just looking at that. So the money raised goes directly to support these kids, like Calvin, who has, I mean, it's changed your life in so many ways,
yeah,
right? So many positive ways. So this is such a great, how do you get involved? Can we still take part as a portager?
At this point, this year we've closed down registration. But there's a number of different ways you can get involved in Canoe Heads for Kids. This year, we're always looking for more donations because we do have an ambitious goal for what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise $100,000 to send. What that does, it helps send 100 kids to camp for 2 weeks each.
Nice.
So this year, if you want to be involved, we'd encourage you to go to the website www.canoeheadsforkids and make a donation. And if next year you want to be involved, send an email to the Amici Camping Charity. I believe it's www.amicicharity.org. And send them an email, let them know you want to be involved, and we will get you in there to be on a team or be a volunteer for next year.
How do you train for this event?
Training, lots of hard work, lots of gym time, lots of carrying
Is he
canoes.
pulling my leg?
I
Did you
think a
train
little
at
bit.
all for this?
No, you know what? It's years of experience with a canoe, but no, it's you just go out, you carry a canoe, and the next day usually you wake up feeling a little stiff, but it's all worth it.
Yeah, no. There'll be no blow drying your hair the next day. You don't have to worry about that.
For me, I don't have to worry about that.
What a great event. So you've raised, you want to raise $100,000 this year. Up to this point, how much have you raised?
Right now, I actually looked at our app today, and we're just below 41,000.
Brilliant.
That doesn't include some corporate sponsorships that we have that come to around, I think it's somewhere between 15 and 20,000 that we're getting from corporate sponsorships.
Well,
so.
we want to hit that 100 grand mark so that 100 kids can have 2 weeks each
Yeah.
in camp. And again, this is a commitment that goes on for these kids. So for more information, am I saying that right?
Yep.
AmiciCharity.org. Get all the details on the events on the 31st, Canoe Heads for Kids, and so much more. Now, when we come back, we're going to learn Topspin Table Tennis Center Toronto's tips for how to play table tennis. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, big reach.